The AMEX Platinum card currently has a £650 annual fee. It comes with a ton of benefits, but are they worth it? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the main benefits of this card, and I'm going to be looking at what kind of value do I get per year from these, and hopefully that will help you to make a decision about whether or not you want the card if you don't have it already, or whether or not it's worth keeping if you do have the card. The first benefit to look at is airport lounge access. So the AMEX Platinum comes with Priority Pass, which gets you access to airport lounges all over the world, and also the AMEX Platinum card itself can often get you into a number of lounges, so things like the AMEX Centurion lounges, and recently in Orlando we got access to the Plaza Premium lounge, and that was through our AMEX Platinum rather than through Priority Pass. Now, if you do travel quite a lot, then you can soon get really good value for this benefit, especially if you don't have status with any airlines. Now, for me personally, because a lot of my holidays are with BA or One World Airlines, and I do have BA Silver status, I do get lounge access with those trips anyway. However, we do quite a lot of flights to and from Belfast to visit family, and on that route, because we're usually flying with EasyJet, there's no lounge access for us that's granted as part of the trip. So Priority Pass does come really useful in those trips to be able to go to the airport lounges, and particularly the time of flights we often do, it's usually around a meal time, so if we weren't going to go into the lounge, we'd probably end up buying something at the airport anyway. So how much of a value would I put on that benefit? Well, it's a bit of a tricky one. You know, not all lounges are made equal. Some lounges will be absolutely brilliant with really good quality food, plenty of drink. Others are really rubbish, and you might get something basic, but you're probably actually better off just going to a nice restaurant in the airport. On average though, I'd say I'd probably put a conservative value on it of about £20 per person. We usually get a good meal, maybe a coffee if it's a morning, probably some alcoholic drinks if it's the evening or maybe an afternoon flight. And it just gives you a bit of a nicer place to spend your time whilst you're at the airport, usually a bit more relaxing, and I will put some value on that as well. But I don't want to go too crazy with it just because the Priority Pass lounges, they're not always the best ones. Some of them are great, some of them are not so good. So I think about £20 per person is pretty reasonable for that. Over the course of 2023, I visited 13 Priority Pass lounges, and each of those is with my partner Kelly. So based on 13 visits for two people, valuing it at about £20 per person, that would give a value of £520 for the year. However, you can buy Priority Pass on its own. If you do buy Priority Pass directly from Priority Pass, it's only £420 for the year. So I'm going to cap the valuation on that at £420. Yes, there are some lounges you can get access to that aren't part of Priority Pass by keeping the AMEX Platinum, but I think just give a conservative valuation, I'm going to value it personally at £420 per year. Whilst on the subject of lounge access, there are other types of lounges that you get access to with your AMEX Platinum. For example, the Eurostar lounge you get access to. Not being based in London, I've never used the Eurostar. I don't currently have any plans to. I would like to try it out, but because I don't have any specific plans for that, I wouldn't put any value on that. In 2024, and for context, I'm filming this early February, I've already visited 4 lounges with Priority Pass or with the AMEX Platinum. Looking ahead for the year and the plans that we have and thinking of how frequently we might go to Northern Ireland and back, we're probably going to be doing at least another 10 trips, so 14 in total. Again, when I look at the valuation for next year, I'm probably going to get a similar value in 2024 as I did in 2023. So again, I'm going to cap that value at the cost of a Priority Pass, which is £420. You can see already that just from lounge visits, you're already covering quite a lot of the cost of that £650 fee. Probably the next benefit that's talked about the most is hotel status. So with a lot of the major hotel chains, Hilton, Marriott, Radisson, a few others, you do get one of their top level statuses. So it's usually gold level status with these different hotel chains. Now, I don't stay at these hotel chains too often personally, and if I do, it's usually booked through a third party like booking.com, to be honest, and in those cases they don't tend to honour your status. There are exceptions to that. For example, on a recent trip to Puerto Rico, although we booked through BA Holidays, they did take my membership number and they gave us our gold benefits, which included a discount off the breakfast. You do also sometimes get hotel room upgrades. Occasionally they'll offer free drinks or a dining credit, things like that. And a lot of the time when I haven't booked a breakfast room, they've included breakfast with the stay because of that gold status. Perhaps the biggest way that this has benefited us though is actually when we sailed on Virgin Voyages last January. This was our first ever cruise, and despite that we were actually able to qualify for their loyalty programme. Virgin Voyages offers a status match with other cruise lines. Now, as I said, we never cruised before. However, MSC, another cruise line, they accept status matches from hotel chains. So we were able to use our gold status to status match to MSC, and then status match from MSC to Virgin Voyages, and that meant that on our first ever cruise we were able to get a ton of perks. This included $100 toward drinks, we got a $10 credit every day for coffees, for specialty coffees, we got a free bag of laundry, and we also got the premium Wi-Fi included for free. In 2023, the value of those benefits alone were $280. And because we've got 2 longer cruises booked with Virgin in 2024, we stand to get a value of over $800 from those benefits. However, there's no actual need to keep the cards to retain those benefits. Now we've done the status match, we've got that locked in. So I don't actually need to keep the AMEX Platinum to keep that status with Virgin. I would lose status with the hotel chains, but I don't really get too much from that anyway. I wouldn't put more than a 50 quid a year valuation on that based on the benefits that I personally get. However, to some of you, especially if you do like these hotel chains and if you do use them a lot, that could potentially be a really, really valuable benefit to have. Next up is travel insurance. The AMEX Platinum includes annual travel insurance for completely free. However, again, for me personally, when I looked at the policy, it doesn't seem to include cruise cover. So I have ended up, because I've got a cruise last year, I've got a couple of cruises this year, I have ended up buying a separate annual travel insurance policy to cover me for that cruise. So usually this would be a good benefit, and if you don't like cruising, if that's not any interest to you, the cover that you get from AMEX Platinum will be absolutely fine, and that would have quite a good value to you. But for me personally, because I've needed to have a separate policy anyway, that travel insurance gets a £0 valuation from me. There's also car hire insurance covered, so this means you don't need to be paying out for extra car hire cover when you're renting a car. We do rent cars quite a bit. Often when we're flying over to Northern Ireland, we'll rent a car. On a few of our holidays as well. For example, when we were in Jordan, we rented a car. When we were in Albania, we rented a car. So it is quite useful to have that. In the past, I would put a decent value on that, but I think for the year ahead, I'm probably not going to be renting cars too often. So I wouldn't really put much of a cash valuation on that for me personally this year. Next up, there's a load of offers that you can get on the card. So these are cashback offers that you can get. The first is a dining credit. So every year you get a £150 dining credit to use on various restaurants in the UK. So we've made really good use of this one over the last couple of years, having nice dinners in the Ivy. A few months ago we went to Edinburgh and we were able to use it at Gordon Ramsay's Bread Street Kitchen to get some beef Wellington, and also in Tattoo. We really enjoy this. It's really nice going out for a good meal and knowing that you're not having to pay anything towards it. So I would give that one a full £150 valuation for me personally. In addition to that, you get another £150 to use at overseas restaurants. Again, we've made great use of this. We've been to restaurants in Paris. We went to Harry's Bar in Venice. It's meant to be like, one of the top places to go, but everyone who reviews it online hates it because it's old-fashioned and overpriced. However, when you're not actually paying for it yourself or when it's covered by your card, we actually had a brilliant time there, just knocking back a few drinks and not needing to worry about the cost of it. We've also had a great meal at an Italian restaurant in Miami, and I'm sure this is a benefit we'll use ahead this year as well. So just on those 2 dining credits alone, that's a potential £300 value. Next up on the offers, every year you get £100 to spend at Harvey Nichols. Now this is broken out into 2 £50 payments, so you get £50 in the first half of the year and £50 in the second half of the year. The downside to this is I don't live near a Harvey Nicks, so if I'm ordering from them, I'm doing it online, and there is a £5 delivery fee. So the most benefit I can ever get from this voucher is £45 each time. So for me, I'll give that £90 a year valuation. Something that's really crucial to the valuation of these offers is that they're an annual benefit. That's based on a calendar year, not based on when you sign up. So if, for example, you were to sign up halfway through a year, you would get the offers for that calendar year, and then as soon as you hit January, you're able to use those offers again. So within one payment year, you could have used those offers twice. This means if you decided to sign up for an AMEX Platinum for just 1 year, you can get those multiple times. The final benefit I want to talk about is the points earning on the card and the sign-up bonus. For every £1 you spend, you get 1 membership reward point. These points can be used to transfer out to all sorts of partners, so you can do it for loads of different airlines, hotels. I think for me personally, I'd probably be using it for air mile points. However, the 1 point per pound is not the best earning rate in the world. For example, I've got both an AMEX card and a Barclays card that both pay me 1.5 Avios per pound. Now, obviously with those points, I'm limited to BA and One World Airlines, whereas with the AMEX points, they can be transferred to all sorts of different places. But nonetheless, like I say, not the best earning rate, and you can actually get the same earning rate on the Gold card, which is a lot cheaper and is also free in its first year. You can get very generous sign-up bonuses on the AMEX Platinum though. When I first signed up last year, the standard sign-up bonus was 60,000 points, and I also got an extra 5,000 points because I was referred by my partner Kelly. This meant that my sign-up bonus was 65,000 points. I tend to put a minimum valuation on those points as about 1p per point. And based on that valuation, that 65,000 points is worth £650, which covered the cost of the fee in the first year alone. So that was the bonus when I first signed up. The current sign-up bonus is 40,000 points. The referral bonus thing, that still does come into effect, so if you were signing up through a referral link, you'll get an additional 5,000 points. Mine will be in the description if you are interested in signing up for the card. So when you factor in the value that I was able to get from the sign-up bonus, the dining credits, the Harvey Nichols credits, the airport lounge access, you can see I've got absolutely massive value from this in my first year. However, when I look to the year ahead, the only main benefits I'm getting are the airport lounge access and the dining credits. Now that value still adds up to more than the £650 fee, so it seems like an obvious answer to just keep the card for another year. However, I'm pretty much always travelling with my partner Kelly, who also has this card, and you only need one of you to have the AMEX Platinum to be able to get all the airport lounge access. So it really isn't worth both of us having this card. I'm not sure which one of us will keep it, but it's definitely not worth us both having it keep going forward. I think the only thing that would change this is that sometimes when you call to cancel, AMEX might offer a retention bonus. So I've seen it in the past with them offering 30,000 points, 50,000 points for people to stay with them. I think if I'm offered something like that, then I would stay. It would absolutely be worth it because I will get good value from the dining credits and everything else. Having those points would cover a good portion of the annual fee. Other benefits would hopefully cover the rest of that. But it does all depend what they do offer me. It might be nothing. We'll have to wait and see. I'd love to hear in the comments, what kind of value do you get from this card? What are the main benefits that you make use of? Are there any of the benefits you think I've overlooked here? I know there's a lot more that I haven't covered in this, but I'm just trying to focus on the main ones for me. But yeah, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know how much value you're getting from the card, which benefits do you like the most, or if you haven't got the card, having watched this video, do you think it's something you'd be able to get good value from? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.